Hello beauty gurus and welcome to my tutorial of a glittery cut crease that I wore at Monumentour to see Fall Out Boy and Paramore in Concord, California. Keep watching if you'd like to see how to do this look. So first I start with the NYX white eyeshadow base and I rub that all over my eyes, patting it in with the warmth of my fingers to melt it on all over from the lid to the brow bone as usual. And then I go in with this really nude pink toned color, basically the same color as my skin, with the Sigma E60 all over the lid from the NYX Wicked Dreams palette, just to make all the colors that go over it easier to blend. And then Makeup Geek Peach Smoothie with the Sigma E40. I'm just building that in my crease. It's the perfect transition shade and it's so blendable. I would recommend for everyone in the entire world to get this eyeshadow. It's the best transition-y sort of eyeshadow that I've ever used. And I just continue to build the color until I'm happy with how that's going to transition later. And then I take this Ulta pencil eyeliner, it's just black, and I start to draw a wing from the corner of my eye up to the tail of my brow. And I'm kind of lame, I have to hold my eye taut for this, it's my flaw. And then I start to make a line from almost to the end of that wing to my crease where I want the cut crease to be, and I just build that line until it's perfect and ready to be blended. I would just recommend doing this slowly and carefully, not pressing too hard and just being careful. And then I take these two browns from the Wicked Dreams palette and I use those on this flat little Ecotools brush. It's really small and I just put it on the end of the brush and I start to just blend out the eyeliner and make it really smooth and make it gradient upward into the peach smoothie. My best recommendation for doing this is to just really hold the brush lightly. I'm just barely like holding it on the end, and if you pack on this color then it'll create a harsh line and it won't look pretty. And so just do this very slowly and carefully, taking little bit by bit product onto the tip of the brush until you're happy with how it's blending up. And then connect it into the wing. It's okay if it sort of goes outward, we'll clean up that line later. And then I also hit that line that we created the wing with, so that's kind of smoky. And then lastly, I'm using the lighter brown to sort of blend the black into brown as it goes further into my crease, so there's not just this random like stopping point there. And then I take Peach Smoothie on this little like tiny blending brush that I got from Ulta, and I just blend that line out until I'm happy. And I am. And then I take the gold from the Wicked Dreams palette. It's actually more bronze, which I was kind of sad about, with the Sigma E55. And I just pack it all in there, hugging it tightly to the bottom of that line, getting all the way to the inner corner because the glitter is going to be so strong we're not even going to have an inner corner highlight. And I just pack that all over the place. And then I take Peach Smoothie and just blend where that meets my skin. And then I take NYX Full Coverage Concealer in Porcelain, and I just use my finger to dab that under my eyes. All I'm doing is covering up my dark circles, and I use the warmth of my fingers to sort of melt it into my skin. I always like the finish that that creates. And then I just go back with that creamy nude eyeshadow and the Sigma E60, and I just blend that in, and then I take the concealer with a Bare Minerals concealer brush and clean up that line. And then I'm tightlining using the Ulta pencil from before. You can absolutely do thicker eyeliner, I just like tightlining. And then I take these two mascaras, Big and Daring and Superextend Extreme. I put Big and Daring on top to make my lashes thick and volumized so that they will blend in with my falsies. And then I take Superextend on the bottom to make them super wispy and long. I think that's a pretty look. I'm not putting anything on my waterline today. You can if you want. And then I take Urban Decay Heavy Metal Glitter in Goldmine. And first I'm taking Lit Cosmetics Glitter Glue, and I kind of do it section by section on my eye. I just feel that that makes it a little bit easier. and I just pat on the glitter with my finger. It's a mess, so just take your time with this. That's my best advice. And then I take the brush and put the glue in sort of the patchier areas and just keep packing on glitter. I decided to take a sponge tip applicator just because the glitter is messy. As you can see, it fell all over my face. You can just brush that off with any old brush. I put on these falsies. They're Glamour Eyez number 61s. And then I dust some peach smoothie on the bottom lash line just for a little bit of effect down there. And then I take MAC Studio Fix powder in NC20, and this is what I've been using for my contour lately. It's kind of weird. It's just a couple shades darker than my skin, and I first use it under my cheekbones with this my same foundation brush that I use, and then I just put it there and I put it on my temples and then I put it below my chin. And I know it's kind of odd, but this is how I've been contouring lately, and if you just keep watching, it's going to make a cool gradient. And the camera's not picking it up, but it does, give a little bit of a darker finish than my actual foundation. That's how pale I am, is that NC20 I can use as a contour. And then I take MAC Blunt, and this is what I'm going to use to deepen the contour using the Sigma F40. It's an angled contouring brush. And then I just deepen the contour, creating a gradient from Blunt to the Studio Fix powder. And I hit all the places that I hit before. And then I take this Sigma medium angled shading brush. I forgot what the number is. I'll put it below. And I use that to contour my nose using MAC Blunt. And it looks really crazy on camera, but the contour is not that heavy in person, so. And I just go down the sides until I'm happy with how thin my nose looks, and then I go over the bridge. And then I'm using MAC Shell, which is a cream highlight, and with this you just want to take the tiniest bit on your finger and pat it on really lightly, because if you rub it, then it'll rub off all your foundation, whatever's underneath. And I just hit the top of my nose, top of my cheekbones, middle of my forehead, middle of my chin, and Cupid's bow. And lastly, with this product, you don't want to put it on too heavily because it's kind of pink toned, and then it'll just be like a pink blotch on your face, so just be careful with this. And then I take NYX Baked Blush in Full On Femme. Look how beautiful that is. I love a baby pink blush. And then I just pat that onto the apples of my cheeks with this really kind of rough Bare Minerals kabuki. And then I take NYX Narcissus. It's not the best choice. It's too fuchsia for me, and it's kind of frosty. And I just throw that on my lips. I wasn't super into it. And that is it. Please like, rate, comment, and subscribe, and talk to you later. Bye.